So from Chosen Records, we have Pastor Mac Andre in studio with us. Good morning, talofa, Mac.
Talofa lava, mahalo lelei.
Good morning, good morning. And we've actually got a special performance from one of the stable artists coming up very soon. But to you first, Mac, Chosen Records, how did this all come about?
Well, music's been around for decades, Silla, you know? It's been around for...
Man, I'm getting smashed this morning.
you know, it's been around for centuries, millennia. I mean,
Yeah.
everywhere we go, there's music, whether it's
Sure.
in the cafe, in the restaurant, in the car, in the traffic this morning. Music's all around us. And so the thought is, well, why can't music also be a vocation of influence, you know? Just like the CEO or the taxi driver or others, I believe music plays an important role, but music also has meaning. And we want to create a place where that passion can have purpose. Because there's many people out there that, you know, probably won't walk into a church or hear a message, but somewhere they'll hear or listen to music. That music can make a difference in their lives.
Has music always been a big part of your life? Are you pretty musical? Mac Andre, it sounds like a rapper, to be honest. It sounds like a stage name.
Well, it is a stage name. My real name is Namla Ulu Makisua Andre Zenas Fale Tutulu.
Oh, malolo soifua.
I was going to introduce you as that, but I thought I might struggle.
Yeah. You know, born in New Zealand, but moved up to the shore about 10 years ago. When I moved up to the shore, you know, people keep getting it wrong. So Mac Andre, my middle name there is Andre, after my mum's favourite singer, Andre Crouch.
I thought he was going to say Peter Andre. But.
Peter Andre, well, tomatoes, they say.
You call yourself a real Samoan, you're living over the shore, mate.
So, yeah, I mean, that's...
But music's always been a big part of your life?
It's always been a big part of my life. I'm a musician, growing up as a musician, but everyone was like, you know, get a real job. Music's not a real job. But hey, maybe we can turn music into the job, you know?
And that's the dream.
Yeah, there's a couple, you know, there are a lot of young people who want to chase the music dream, but we live in such a small country that dream often becomes a pipe dream and, you know, it often isn't fulfilled. So it's great that you're doing this, Mac, and your team. We want to acknowledge your team. So how do you go out to the artists or do the artists come out to you? How do you identify who's going to be on your label and how did that all start too?
Well, we started simply with a Seek ad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A crazy Seek ad looking for people that would do whatever it takes to build the dream. And since then, my phone never stopped ringing because there's so many people out there that want to work as a musician but never given the opportunity. And so they reach out. We look for two things, talent and character. Talent is, hey, you got to sing. Let's face it, not everybody's a singer.
Oh, we know.
We sure know.
That's why we work at radio.
And the second thing is they've got to have character because you can have the talent, but if you don't have the determination, because of how tough the industry is, you need people that keep going. If that doesn't work, I mean, Jay and some of the guys here probably written about 20 songs before they wrote one or two good ones. And so you got to keep going until you make it happen. But that's the determination. Keep going, keep getting back up.
You strike me as the right kind of guy to be running a record label. Like a Simon, you got a Simon Cowell vibe about you where you'd be willing to have the hard conversation. You know, like you said, they've written 20 songs before they wrote a good one. That's honest, right? But you need that feedback.
Well, it's the same as everyone. I mean, you know, they come up with some beautiful songs, but you know those beautiful songs are a product of coming through, you know.
Yeah, the work, right?
Coming through the work, doing the grind and making it just like any other job. Got to get up and make it happen, you know.
Excellent. The character part, and I love that, you got to have the right character. How does faith play a part in the industry that you're working in and the label that you're working on?
Yeah, so, I mean, faith is a massive part. It's one of our guiding principles. And when we talk about faith, part of it is what we call DWITs. Is we do whatever it takes.
Oh,
you know, people ask you,
it's an acronym, Bjorn.
Yeah, I'm processing.
You're not a DWIT.
Thanks, bro.
You know, well, what do I do? The question is, well, what does it take? Because, you know, no one's ever done this type of thing before actually, you know, working full-time as a musician. And there's a reason for that, because it's hard. But if it's hard, well, you know, turn the lemons into lemonade and keep going.
Very, very good.
I like your style, man. I like the attitude. You know what I'd love to get your thoughts on, Mac? You know, you're in the music industry now. What do you Lord did a listening party in a toilet, apparently, yesterday
At the YMCA.
in Auckland with their new album. You think that's a good idea? Would you ever recommend any of your artists to a listening party in a bathroom? Or
Yeah, little pop-up, little gigs.
would you launch your albums in a different way?
Sounds like Mac is all in.
Quite out there, eh? You know?
But different.
Hey, we talked about starting up the label, Chosen Records. You've got a dream, you've got a vision. We haven't talked about the challenges you face, because I imagine there'd be a lot of challenges. Can we talk to maybe even some setbacks on the road and on the journey? Because I imagine, are you the finished product?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just getting started.
Great.
So setbacks, I mean, we face that type of stuff every day. I mean, when I talked before about doing whatever it takes, it's funny because it's true. And it's difficult because, you know, the music industry can be quite disjointed, you know. Gigs can be seasonal. We were able to perform at One Love, for example. But then when that season's finished, then there's kind of nothing else for the industry. So you've got to create songs that get to stream. You've got to sell your songs to ads and to movies and things like that. So really, what we've been working to do is to bring that disjointed the disjointed aspects of the industry together, so that when we bring in these aspiring artists, there's a bit of a system for them that they can follow. You know, we've got gigs that we set up, concerts, we've got a tour coming up, and we also set up so that they can be releasing music, because that's another way of building resource or monetizing the songs and the gifts that God's given them.
Right on.
You need people like you, in your corner when you're a musician, right? Because often, you know, someone might be blessed with the talent of songwriting and musicianship and being able to play and make music, but then once they made it, they're like, what do I do after that? You know, I don't know how to get it out. I don't know how to, all these different avenues that you're talking about, you know, making ways for it to actually work and get out to people. Without that knowledge, there'd be so much music just sitting on someone's laptop around the country that they've made, but they've got
100%.
no way to get it out to people.
Yeah, no, 100%. A lot of our guys come from just recording at home in their own studio setups and stuff like that they're creating. And they're going as hard as they can, doing the best that they can. But you're right, without the knowledge of how to get the music out there, how to put it on the platforms, how to create an MTV, how to do all these different parts of it, you know, they're kind of set up for... unfortunately, for failure.
Last one from me before we get in our awesome guest, Jay. You strike me, and Bjorn's mentioned it, as a man who's like straight up with the artists and straight up with the people around you. So for anyone plugging in right now, Mac, who's an aspiring artist, or even to your stable of artists at the moment, what's the big advice that you give them?
Well, the big advice is don't wait. Don't wait for anyone. Don't wait for anything. You know, spend so much time, I don't have this, I don't have a mic, I don't have that. Start with what you have. What do you have in your hands? What songs can you write? What can you come up with? And if you're faithful with what you have right now, that can multiply. And then you can do this, you can do that. Just look at our guys, you know, they come in, we got some basic resources, but we don't have everything. But they make it happen. They turn closets into sound booths. They've brought in their guitars, their mixers and all that type of stuff. But through what they've used, they're able to come up with some beautiful songs.
Amen. So how can people get a hold of you? Aspiring, or just to be able to plug in and support you guys? What's the best way?
Well, I guess our socials are up now, so you can jump on our Instagram. That's Chosen Records NZ. We've also got other socials, but you can find it through there. And we've got a website that you can connect with us.
chosenrecords.org if you want to plug in, follow along with the story, and check them out a little bit more. Thanks so much, Mac.
You're awesome today, Mac.
Yeah,
Shot, bro.
inspiring.